Hello everyone, welcome to week 2 of the All the Things Tote So Long. So this week we are covering quilting and handles. Quilting and handles is what we're covering this week for the So Long. I just wanted to go over a couple of things that I think I missed last time. I feel like there's always so much information I want to share, but I want to make these videos bite-sized so you don't get overwhelmed with all the information and it doesn't take you an hour to watch them. So hello everyone, thanks for saying hi, it's so fun. So a couple things. I hope you're signed up for the newsletter for the So Long, because we have sponsors in there that are offering discount codes, and the discount codes are in the newsletter. So if you're not in the newsletter, go to the link in my bio and sign up for the newsletter. We'll be sending out week 2's email after this live, because I'll link to the live in the newsletter. And then the discount codes are in there, but I wanted to just shout out some of our sponsors. Quilted Works has a discount code to their shop, and then I hope I'm saying this right, Domesticity, I think their Instagram is Create Domesticity, has a discount code in there for one-time purchase off their website. And then if you're Canadian, Matante Quilting has a discount code for her bag making supply shop. So that's kind of what we did instead of sponsors this time. So I hope you'll take advantage. I wanted to do something where we give back to everybody that is participating instead of just a few people to get sponsors. So we're trying it out this time. I'm super grateful for those shops that have offered discounts to everybody. So I wanted to share that. And then the other thing is, I didn't talk about any of my favorite tools or notions. And I think that people can get by with what they have. I do love to share things that make the process easier. And I only share my very most favorite tools because I use them. I use them every time I make bags. So I wanted to just quickly go over some of my favorite tools. So today we're going to be talking about quilting and handles. So my favorite tools for quilting. So I know people have been asking me a few questions here and there about quilting because if you've seen hashtag, I want to talk about the hashtag too. I've been posting under the All the Things Tote SA for so long, 2024 hashtag, just so that I'm seeing the new ones. Domesticity, love that shop, awesome. I'm glad I said it right. Thank you. And I've been posting it under the All the Things Tote SA 2024 hashtag so that we can see all the new projects. So if you want to post under that hashtag or the old hashtag, that's great too. But if you do it in the 2024, that's where I've been looking the most at things, and it's so fun. And so many people have worked ahead. Someone just commented and said they're working on their second bag. So it's so awesome. This really is a bag you'll probably want to make more than one time. I have made it a lot, and not just for samples. I have made it to use because I love using it. So, okay, for quilting. So the tools for quilting. So I just wanted to share that what I like to do for quilting in the pattern, it says to quilt up a yard of fabric. And if you're long arming, that's great. You can quilt up a yard of fabric on your domestic sewing machine, but that's a lot to work with. But people quilt quilts on their machines, right? So it's not too big to quilt up a yard. But I found that when I'm quilting on my domestic machine, I like to quilt it in smaller pieces just because it's easier. So what I did here is I added up 2 of the end panels, and then I added an inch around it. So then I can quilt this up, and then I can cut out the pieces that I need after. And I like to give myself an inch extra because, quilting shifts and shrinks and whatever. And so then I can just square up the pieces with my rotary cutter directly after they're quilted. So that's my tip for quilting smaller pieces. So this is a section that I have started quilting. It's going to end up being 2 end panels, right? But I am quilting it. You can see here I'm doing a 1-inch grid, and I am using Glide neon, a neon yellow thread on the front and the back. It's turning out pretty fun. Anyways, so I started it. I'm gonna keep finishing it, but I was doing it right before here. So I just wanted to show you that much that I have done so far. So for marking your lines, for quilting, marking your lines, I love Creative Grids rulers. I think a lot of rulers have like 45-degree lines or 60 and 60-degree lines, whatever. But Creative Grids is like the only ruler that I use now. I just love how fine their lines are. I love the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch. Anyways, I could do a whole sales pitch on Creative Grids rulers, but they're my favorite. So if you're doing cross hatching and you use that 45-degree line, so you can just use this to mark your line. All right, so for this I just used, so some of my favorite marking tools, you can use a hair marker. This is a hair marker from Modern American Vintage. He hand makes all of his tools and they're really beautiful and they're amazing. Very functional as well as beautiful. So you can use a hair marker. I personally don't love using a hair marker on Soft and Stable. I find that the line, it's like harder to indent the line. And it usually works, but then I feel like it goes away quicker, the line. So if you're not going to be quilting it like right then, it's not as useful for Soft and Stable. But I do use my hair marker sometimes. And I find too with myself, I usually mark one line and then I use my guide on my sewing machine to do whatever, like 1 inch increments or 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch or whatever increment I'm doing. So if you are just marking one line, it's probably great for that. A substitute to a hair marker is a butter knife. I've seen people use butter knives for this as well. These are probably my favorite marking tools when I'm quilting Soft and Stable. This is a Sew Line Air Erasing marker. So I like this one because it's got a fine felt tip point. And it marks like a purpley blue color. So I like that if you really need it to show up, if your fabric's light. This is air erasing. So just know if you're going to mark a whole ton of lines with it, and then you're going to get distracted and leave, it will disappear and you'll have to remark them. So that's one downside of the air erasing marker. And then my other favorite marking tool is the Clover chalk pen. I just want to give the disclosure now that I only recommend the white color. I have used yellow and blue and pink. Like I've tried all these other ones, but I find that the colors don't come out as easy as the white. The white just comes out the best. So I really like this because, I just drew a line on my finger. It's pretty fine and it's just like chalk, so it's light and it just brushes off really easily. So yeah, I have the air line or the Sew Line Air Erasing and the Clover chalk pen in my shop if you need them. If you're whatever, they probably have them at other shops as well. So they're great. So I like these too, but like I said, I usually just mark one line with a marking tool, and then I take it to my sewing machine, and then I'm going to show you this because a lot of people don't know what this is, but a lot of people have a bar thing like this in their sewing tray and they didn't know what it was. But this is, I don't even know what it's called. I call it a sewing guide. That's probably what it's called, a sewing guide. And usually you can just stick it right into your presser foot and then use it as a guide. And on my plate, on my sewing machine, I sew on a FOF Performance Icon. I love my FOF. It has a built-in walking foot, which is one of my favorite parts about it. And so you will definitely want to use your walking foot when you're quilting. It's just so helpful. Anyways, but I can just like plug that right into my foot, and then I can just like, I have guides on my plate, and then I can just mark 1/2 inch, 1 inch, whatever. So I marked mine to 1 inch for this. So then I just like follow that guide every time. So I don't know if I can, like, you just like have this sitting here and here, and then you can just follow it every time. You sew your first line, and then every line you can use the line previous for your guides. Okay, so that's a little bit about the tools that I like for quilting. I also recommend, this is something simple, but I like flathead pins. So like these are like the Tula Pink unicorn ones. Those are fine. I actually think I prefer these ones because they're a little thinner. These are Clover as well, Clover flower head pins. So one of the reasons why I like that is because I like to you can spray based. I should have got my spray base, but some of my favorite spray based are June Taylor's basting spray and the 505 basting spray. They're temporary adhesive sprays, so if you have to like peel off and reposition, you can do that. I usually don't. It's just messy and adds cost, right? And I think you should probably do it outside or somewhere well ventilated because it's the fumes and stuff. So I usually don't want to go to the effort to leave my basement sewing space to do that. But those work. And if that's a method you like, do it. I talked about last week about like a fusible foam, because I know Bosel has a fusible foam. So a lot of people like that. I shared last week why I don't like that. But I'm not trying to bash any brands or any products. I think everyone has a thing that they do that works for them. So what I like to do is take my fabric to my iron, and I like to use steam, and I like to iron it. And it's not fusible, but I feel like it helps hold it in place. And then I use flathead pins, and I pin them in the corners, and I pin them out. So it kind of pulls the fabric out and away from the center. And the reason why I like the flathead pins is because when I'm marking lines, my ruler lays flat on top of it when I'm marking, if I have a bunch of pins holding in place. And then I don't have to worry about like the bumps of the pin heads. Anyways, that's something simple, but I like the flathead pins as well. Okay, and then I didn't talk about this either, but these are my favorite needles to sew with. They are Schmetz brand top stitch needles, size 90-14. So they're bigger needles. These are my favorite bag needles. I sew all my bags with these needles. So I do have these in my shop too if you need needles. Okay, let's see. Did I go over everything? I think I went over everything. The last thing I wanted to talk about with quilting is just your stitch length. I usually bump my stitch length up to 3, and I think it just helps the process go a little bit quicker. Your stitch length's a little bit bigger. And so I think that that's a simple tip. So if anyone has questions about quilting, be sure to throw them in the comments, and I will answer questions about quilting. But hopefully that was enough like little simple tips that is helpful when you're doing your quilting this week. Okay, and then pins, iron, spray base, long arm. Okay, and we talked about long arm quilting fabric last week too, so you can check out last week's video if you are interested in hearing some of the long arm quilting tips, if you're quilting your soft and staple on a long arm. All right, for handles, what are your handles this week? I didn't even talk about this bag last week. I should show you this one. This one's so cute. This is Alexia Abeg's collection that's coming out next month called Meadow Star, but these like big appliques, aren't they like so cute? Anyways, I love this fabric so much. It's so cute. And look at the lining print. This is like so dang cute. I can't wait. Oh, I didn't change my thread. I didn't match. Okay, there's a tip. Match your thread. It's funny. I matched it on the other one and I didn't unpick it. But you'll notice. Such a cute print. Anyways, okay, so these handles I made with fabric. So this is a fabric tube that I made, and I flipped it inside out, and then I put in my polypro strapping into it. So both of the samples that I'm making this time, I'm going to be using like a decorative webbing. So I have my, let's see, okay, I have this webbing cut for my laundry soap bag, and then I have this webbing cut for this one. So I'm doing a decorative. Oh, I have to talk about that. Okay, I'm gonna finish talking about the handles, and then I have one more thing to talk about for quilting. Okay, so the last notion I wanted to share today is a tube turner. This is a Dritz tube turner, and then in my shop I carry the Prim ones because they're pink. Who doesn't want a pink one? So, anyways, but they are exactly the same. So either of them works. All right, so I have my tube sewn in half and I press my seam open. So I'm going to show you a demo on how to use this. So this is a plastic part. I use the biggest size. This is, you throw this in, and I usually like to give myself like a thumb's length. So I'm like, okay, I got a thumb's length of the tube in there. You want to hold on to the plastic tube inside. And then this is your wooden stick that comes in, and you just jam the fabric in, right? You just jam it right in the tube. You do not want the stick to go through because you want it to turn. So it's got to like have pressure off of the jammed fabric in there. All right. So you're just going to do that and pull this tube down like this. If it's longer, which if for like my patchwork duffel, for instance, there's a lot of, it's really long, right? And so you want to just like hold on to both sticks in the process and then pull this off the bottom, which you're going to do the same with this, but these handles are a lot shorter, so you can just like literally flip them inside out. So I just hold on to the stick and hold on to this and pull this off the bottom, and then you can pull your tube off and then get your stick out. So that is like worth its weight in gold. If you've ever turned a tube like not like that, you know that it's like not that easy or that quick. So anyway, so then you'll iron your seam centered, which I already have one that I ironed, my seam centered. And then this is the Polypro strapping. This is like the plasticky one. Okay, did I drop the one? Because I had, where did it go? Let's see. Oh, where did it go? Oh, it's on my lap right here. I'm like, I have had one ready to go. This is like a great time to use a big safety pin. I just like put a big safety pin in, and then you're just going to pull the strapping through your tube, and I like the safety pin for that because it's just quick. It makes it quick and easy to just pull this through. If I can do it whenever you're doing it, like 4 people, it always doesn't go exactly how you want. Okay. All right, so then you're just going to do this. And this handle that I'm making a sample for out of New Ruby Star Fabric, Good Spirits, their newest Halloween collab collection. So if you notice, this is like one of the new mini starries that's in that collection. It's so cute. It's so cute. So I'm making my newest pattern, Everyday Quilted Tote, out of the Halloween fabric because it will be a great Halloween bag or a trick-or-treat bag or something. So anyways, you'll just pull that through and then you're going to do a top stitch. I like 1/8 inch top stitch. It's one of the other reasons why I love my Pfaff sewing machine is because it has like a little indent where the 1/8 inch is. So I do that. And then I've shared this before on like some YouTube videos when I'm doing handles, but I like to just like lock my finger right in place, like not lock them, but just like stabilize my hands on my machine and then let this slide through. And then it just keeps it like as a guide for you to do your 1/8 inch top stitch all the way around your handles. So that is what we did on these. I'm going to show you on this one. Maybe the thread will show up a little bit better on this one. So we did our 1/8 inch top stitch right on the edge here. And then once the fabric is pulled through on the tube, you have a little extra fabric and you'll just tuck it in so that it's nice and finished. So you'll do an 1/8 inch stitch around your handles and then follow the measurements in the pattern to do your fold on your handle. I've seen patterns, so this is what I wanted to talk about. I have seen some bags where they don't do the fold and they're great. They work just the same. So if you want to do the fold or not do the fold, you can try it. I actually like the decorativeness, the look of it. And I've heard some people say it like digs into your shoulders. I haven't noticed it dig into my shoulders or anything, so I actually really prefer this method. But I did see a bag, and I'm going to share it in the newsletter, so be sure you're on the newsletter, of one of my friends did it, and she did the handles and extended them all the way around the bottom of the bag on both sides, right? And if you've made the patchwork duffel bag, it's exactly like that. Like the handles like are one handle piece, right? And it just wraps all the way around and all the way around. And that's what she did. And I wanted to do that because I think if you're ever going to carry something like really heavy in this bag, it would be great to have the handles carry some of that weight instead of just the base. So I am going to do that on this one. So I wanted to talk about this real quick. So I tried out the easy piecing grid, the interfacing grid with the 2.5 inch squares for the bag. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing. So I have a series of reels I'm going to share this week about this. I didn't get them posted this week, so I apologize about that. But if you ever are doing patchwork, this was an amazing process to do. And the thing that I love, I haven't quite picked out how I'm going to finish, if I'm going to do patchwork on the end panels or the pockets, but one of these panels, this was the 2.5 inch easy piecing grid panel, is like almost the exact size you need for the body of the bag. So I'm going to see if I have to make a few adjustments, but I'm like so excited. I'm so excited how this turned out. Like so excited. So that's what I'm going to do with this. So I included the measurement in the newsletter for how long you'll need to make this. I did the math because I was like, how long do we need to make the handles? So I included the measurement for the handles in the newsletter as well for how long you need to make the handles if you want to do that method for the handles. Okay, last thing I want to talk about. I know this is a lot of info. I just want to get you all of the tips that I can is soft and stable. So this is for piecing soft and stable. I have tons of scraps of soft and stable all over because I'll quilt some on my long arm and then there's a chunk left over because it's white, which I actually love because then I can like cut up small pieces for it. But I just wanted to show you that it is possible to join edges of soft and stable. And I didn't finish this process because I wanted you to see. So what the tips I recommend is fresh. You need a fresh cut. Like you need to take it over to your rotary cutter and use your ruler and do a fresh cut so that's really straight on both pieces that you're joining. It needs to be really straight. And then I just use interfacing. I know that there's a product called Heat Press Batting Together, which is like a 2-inch roll of interfacing, which is great. And I use it often to join batting pieces. But I found that interfacing works just the same. And so I just will cut a 2-inch piece of the SF101. That's my favorite interfacing. It's a Pellon interfacing. It's a woven fusible interfacing. Anyways, and I just cut a strip and then I center it on both sides. And I like to interface it on both sides. So I usually just wrap it around and then keep ironing all the way around. So I'm going to finish ironing this, but I just wanted to show you. So the reason I don't just butt these two pieces together and zigzag it is because it compresses. The soft and stable will compress. And then you'll notice where you joined them. But this way, it's flat and it's stabilized. And once I get the back panels on to quilt this, you won't even know where you joined it. It's really pretty amazing. I do this all the time because I have lots of scraps of soft and stable. So when I need to like make my piece just a little bit bigger to fit the bag body piece or whatever piece you're working with, it works great. So, okay, I think that's it. I talked about all the tools. I talked about the hashtag, the sponsors, the quilting, the handles. So if you have any questions, I'll say I'm just going to go through and make sure that I didn't miss any questions. So if you have a question, drop it down below. And I really have been loving seeing everybody's bags. Have you guys seen the Makings of Joy's bag? She's adding all of these pockets, and the strawberry panel that she pieced was like so dang cute. Okay, it's a great Costco bag for when I just need a few things. That's perfect. Yeah, it's such a great like grocery bag. Someone had asked me how many would fit in a grocery cart, and I haven't taken mine to the grocery store to see, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to remember to do that. Because it would definitely be a good grocery bag. My favorite use for it so far is taking it to like sewing retreats. How much is the price of the black bag in the back? None of my bags are for sale right now. Well, I do have some bags for sale on my website, but these are samples that I've been using, so these ones aren't for sale right now. Sorry about that. And let's see, any other questions? Have you used SF101 to join batting? I have used SF1 to join batting. I think it works. I honestly think it works just the same. The one nice thing about the Heat Press Batting Together, I think it's a little bit thinner. It's just a little bit thinner. But you could do that for a batting for sure. Are your handles 1.5 inch wide? Yep, all my handles are 1.5 inch wide. Is this going to be saved? This is definitely going to be saved. So, okay, no more questions. Yep, I'm going to save this in my feed so you can rewatch it. If you're rewatching this information is not helpful for you at all. But thank you for being here. I'm so excited to have so many people sewing along and joining the sew along. We're almost up to 1,400 people, which just blows my mind. So it's so fun. I can't wait to see your bags finish, come together. So if you're watching the replay and have questions, definitely leave them in the comments and I will get to them. So I hope you guys have a great week and thanks so much for joining me.